case. Just in case. Yeah.
Been there a couple times.
Why would you leave something? You gotta tell the city's still trying
A few things. All right, so after 7 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order for the Anagola Common Council, February 19th, 2024. Can we get the clerk to call the roll call, please?
Councilmember Coffey. Present. Councilmember Olson.
Here.
Councilmember Starkey.
Here.
Councilmember Rowe. Here. Councilmember McDermott.
Here, sorry, I'm trying to take care of something.
Clipboard's going around. Stephanie's passing out. Make sure you sign in, please, so we know who's here. Let's start with the request for approval of the February 5th minutes.
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The minutes of the January 2nd Board of Public Works and Safety meeting is presented for your information. Unfinished business. Ordinance 1749, 2024, an ordinance correcting a scrivener's error and ordinance number 1740, 2023, extending and increasing the corporate limits of the city of Angola, Indiana, pursuant to the provisions of Indiana Code 36-4-3-5.1 by annexing thereto certain territories contiguous to the city of Angola. This is the WISE annexation for the second reading.
I'll move to approve.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? New business, open bids for community crossing grant, project 2023-02, and I think Amanda has those.
Yeah, we've got two bids. The first one is from API. Their project total is $1,006,200, 1006200. And the second is from Brooks. Their project total is $1,140,942, 1140942 cents. That is all.
Council's pleasure.
In previous years, the Mr.
What's his
Martin
name?
was there.
What's his name? You want the language?
Yes, I want the language. Responsive and responsive bidder.
There you go, the lowest.
I would take the lowest responsive bidder.
Second.
You have a motion, a second. Any discussion?
I guess I do have a question for either Amanda or Chad from Engineering and Street. So with these two bids here, has there been any, I guess, common change orders? Because I know from previous experience, sometimes we get these bids and then there's always change orders that happen throughout the process. Has that been for these types of projects?
We've had change orders in the past. Typically, they revolve around asphalt quantities and poor subgrade that we need to do subgrade treatment. Fair?
That for either bid, you've had it with both the,
API has won the last several years. So we've not worked with Brooks on a community crossing and thank you.
Anything further? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Request approval of engagement letter with Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors for the Water Utility Asset Management Plan in the amount of $25,000. Amanda, would you like to, and her explanation will cover items 2 and 3, so we don't need to do it twice.
And so we are looking to do an asset management plan. It is a requirement to obtain federal funds for a utility for water or sewer projects. So we are looking to do some water and sewer projects that will get rolled into the Pokagon project. So one of those requirements is an asset management plan. This portion of it that you guys are looking at tonight will be the financial portion of that plan. So it's a requirement that we have to submit in order to obtain federal funding.
It's also good business management practice. We haven't done it for an awful long time, so there are other uses.
Amanda, how does this compare to last year in terms of about the same price?
So that's not something that we do annually.
Okay,
So this is specific to an asset management plan, and like the mayor said, we have not done one.
5 years, 6 years, 7 years?
I have a 2007 one on my
Okay,
desk.
might be more, yeah. It's really something we should do more.
Do you think this is also useful for not only federal grants, but also state grants?
Absolutely. And it's going to be useful for our long-range planning as well. So there's 3 portions of an asset management plan. There's the technical portion, which is like the nuts and bolts that I deal with a lot, like what are the pipes in the ground? How long have they been there? There's a managerial portion of how we're managing the utility, and then a financial portion. So this would be 1/3 of that.
So we won't answer.
Go ahead.
The other 2 parts of the plans have already been taken care of, or is this the first of 2 more
So-
steps?
So we're doing some of the technical and managerial in-house. I would anticipate on the sewer side that we may come back before council sometime during the year and want a consultant to kind of look at what we've done and give us a little bit deeper dive. We've got some more long-range improvements we want to make on the sewer side that I think we need some outside assistance on.
How long do you think a plan like this, the whole setup, the whole 3 things, and this takes to get done?
To get the plan done or like to implement it?
Get the plan, just the plan itself.
So like this financial portion will have to have done by April 1st.
Okay, so then the other ones ought to be done relatively quickly, and then so we can apply for stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Is this something that's rolled into the loan that we're to get from the, I can't think of the name of the agency? The cost of this, or is this something else that comes out of some portion of the budget?
This will come out of our utility budgets.
And it's not rolled into it later, though, as part of that loan that.
No, that, they were gonna originally include it with the Pokagon project, but it got kicked out because the state changed their funding requirements. So it's something we should do just as good business practice, but no, we'll pay for this out of our utility. Is that a true state? Okay.
Just to clarify on Mr. Olson's comments there. So I know in the Baker Tilly proposal here, it says that their financials are based on the information from the consulting engineer for the capital asset investment. And that's what you said is being
Mhm.
done currently
That portion will be done in-house, yes.
in-house. Okay, so that's what they're basing these financial
Yes.
projections on, is our long-term capital improvement plan.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Once again, request approval of engagement letter with Baker Tilly Municipal Advisors for the sewage works asset management plan in the amount of $25,000. And this is the same as the water, just on the wastewater side.
move to approve.
Second. Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? I would request approval of mayoral appointment of Clay Burkett to the Historical Preservation Commission with a term starting 1/1/24 and ending at 12/31/26.
If he's willing to be on, I'm going to approve.
Second, any discussion?
Could you tell us a little, I don't know Clay Burkett, so could you tell us a little bit about him?
Jennifer, I think you're more acquainted than I am. Why don't you give them the bio, please?
Yeah, Clay has been on the commission for some time. I don't know when he started, but for a while. He served as the president this last year,
Okay.
so well familiar.
Okay. Thank you. Thought this was something new.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Did we get a motion?
Yes.
Yes. All those opposed? Okay. Now I know what you've all come here for this evening, is the state of the city address. My first, I'm not nearly as, and I'm not taking this as being critical of our previous mayor. He has tended to be a little more wordy than I am. I'm a little shorter on my statements. First, let me express how excited I am to be working with our new city council. It's a fantastic group of people with diverse backgrounds and knowledge base, and I'm confident they all deeply care about the future of Angola. Since taking office, I've had the opportunity to visit with all of our departments and watch them perform their jobs firsthand. I've always been impressed by their hard work and dedication. Our employees are the ones that truly make this a great city. I'd like to thank our former administration and previous council for the work they did at leaving Angola in a strong and sound position. Our clerk treasurer, Ryan Herbert, tells me the city is financially strong. Ryan maintains more than 30 different funds. All have adequate operating balances to see our needs in the future. And I look forward to working with Ryan and the council to keep us in a fiscally strong and sustainable position. I'm pleased to tell you we have zero debt leveraging our tax base. We do have debt backed by our utility revenue. Fortunately, these notes carry extremely low interest rates. Over the last several years, higher inflation rates have had a negative impact on our finances. Conversely, higher interest rates have had a positive effect on the city's finances. As I said, we have borrowed at very low rates, but we enjoy higher rates on our cash balance investment income. In 2023, we earned over $1 million in interest income. Our building commissioner, Scott Lehman, tells me we saw $55 million in new construction last year. This has been a relatively consistent number year over year. We saw several large projects either started or completed in 23, including the addition to Best Hall on the Trine campus, 2 new private apartment complexes that started construction last year. We also saw the start of a very large addition to Cameron Hospital. I'm pleased those investments have been made in our community despite the struggles we've had with energy. I'll discuss more of that later. The Economic Development and Planning Director, Jennifer Barkley, will soon be filing paperwork to expand our our tax incremental financing district. We will be adding the area that we annexed this evening. We will also modify the district language to include the ability to provide funding for utilities, including natural gas. Street Commissioner Chad Ritter will be busy again this year. The city again received a community crossing grant. These funds, along with local dollars, will be used to rebuild portions of North Washington, East Gilmore, West Prospect, and West Pleasant Streets. We will also rebuild the southern 2 blocks of William Street. I've always believed rebuilding streets, curbs, and sidewalks is the best investment city government can make. I would also like to add sidewalks connecting some of our neighborhoods to the bike path. Fire Chief Call and Police Chief Whitmire have both hired new employees to fill their ranks. As for the police department, there is an ideal ratio between police officers and the population of a city. As our community grows, we will be looking at staffing for police and fire protection. Our fire department responded to 1,600 calls last year. That is nearly 5 calls every day. We did have discussion with Pleasant Township last year regarding forming a fire territory. This would provide more equitable sharing of cost for all the taxpayers that receive fire and emergency response protection from the department. I would like to continue those talks into 2024. The goal is to reach an equal cost sharing structure. Fire Chief Call also started a Steuben County Fire Academy. Angola firefighters are training Steuben County high school students to develop the next generation of firefighters. I would like to thank Steuben County government for making a generous contribution to provide turnout gear for the students. As previously announced, Water Superintendent Tom Selman wastewater superintendent Jeff Gack, along with city engineer Amanda Cope, are moving forward with plans for extending city water and sewer lines connecting Pokagon State Park. Because of the benefit to the park having municipal water and wastewater, this project will be 100% funded by the state of Indiana. It will also open up significant areas of the State Road 124 corridor for future development. We have not enacted any water or wastewater utility rate increases in several years. Due to the effects of inflation, the city administration has been having conversations about the rate structure moving forward. We have considered issuing bonds to handle some of our long-term maintenance and improvement projects, which would have included rate increases. Because of our work with Pokagon State Park, I'm pleased to announce that the state of Indiana has generally offered to provide us with a 0% loan to fund these long-term projects. This should enable us to keep potential rate increases as affordable as possible. We've been working with environmental agencies regarding the chloride level in our wastewater discharge. These compounds cannot be removed or treated at our wastewater facility. One of the sources of chloride is the water softening process. I would encourage all of our residents who operate softening units in their home to bypass them. The water from our plant only contains 1 to 4 grams of hardness. This is in the ideal range. Our residents can save money by not operating their softeners, and it also helps the city be more environmentally friendly. I recently signed a contract for $1.5 million grant. This and local money will be used to complete our portion of the bike trail to our southern city limits. Steuben County also received a significant grant that will enable them to build the trail from Angola to Pleasant Lake. I appreciate the work of our council member Sharkey and the Trails Group. We can all look forward to Angola and Steuben County building out the local portion of the Pokabash Trail. Did I pronounce that right? I always hang that one out. In a few months, spring will be here, and our park superintendent, Matt Hanna, along with his staff, will be gearing up for their outdoor activities. They have a full slate planned again this year. I observed the park board and the park board staff's dedication and excitement as they grow park programs. Fundraising for the Sheets Family Park is at the halfway mark, and I know our park board is excited to be working with community partners to see this facility come to reality. As the new mayor of the city of Angola, the most common question I receive is, what is the biggest challenge to Angola going forward? My answer has been one word: energy. Natural gas is a critical energy source for us, not only for heating, but also for industrial processes. Our supplier NIPSCO had been telling us that we had ample gas availability for 10 years of growth. We have since found that statement to be inaccurate. Trine University, Steuben County, along with private developers, have had to spend significant amount of money to increase capacity into the city just to handle their needs. We also know we have lost business and job growth opportunities because of limited energy availability. We are now starting to see the possibility of some of our local businesses expanding their operations or moving entire operations to other locations. I find this totally unacceptable. We must find a long-term solution to this problem without negatively impacting our taxpayers and citizens. I'm grateful that the city of Angola has many partners vested in solving this problem. They include Steuben County, our industrial partners, local businesses and institutions. Also, the Steuben County Economic Development Corporation is aggressively working to solve this issue. One more concern I'd like to share with you this evening: we're starting to see some slowdown and reluctance from builders and developers. The common reason they give are increased costs due to inflation and higher interest rates. What they are not vocalizing, but I'm sensing, is an uncertainty due to the national election this year. Despite these headwinds, I pledge everyone in my administration will go all out to keep our community moving forward. Lastly, I'd like to thank and express my appreciation to the city department leaders and employees. As they have worked through the transition to a new administration, they have made this a simple and painless process for me. And for that, I'm very grateful. Now, there's no way you can summarize all the things facing the city of Angola coming up in the next year. Those are just a few of the highlights. But rather than keeping you all here all evening, I thought I'd keep it short. But I will open it to questions of any of you, if you'd like to ask the mayor questions about what we're doing and what we're doing going forward.
I got a statement, basically. It was a great job, seeing the departments come together to take care of the water main break. It was awesome. It's great to see the departments working together.
I agree. Anybody in the audience have any questions I'd like to ask this evening? Hearing none, we will move right along then. Let's see. Clerk Treasurer's Depository Summary and Cash Reconciliation for the month ending January 2024 is presented for your council information. Reports, Clerk Treasurer.
None from me.
Kim?
I have no report, Mr. Mayor.
Jennifer?
Nothing for me.
Mr. Selman? No report, Mayor. I don't know if I've told everybody this or not, but Mr. Selman will no longer be able to go on vacations because our water department has a string of bad luck, but his department has been well-trained and well-prepared to handle any contingency. We had three, I think it was three or four, one minor and two fairly major water breaks while he was gone. I was like, okay. Get rid of this. Yeah. The one on North Wayne Street was actually strong enough that it lifted up 18 inches of asphalt. It was a lot of energy. We're working on patching it back together, and I thank you and your department, Tom, for getting the water back on. We did issue some boil advisories. Those have all expired, thank goodness, and that's rare. Normally they're able to fix them without shutting them off, and they don't need to do that. But these were significant leaks, so we had to do that.
To add to Councilman Rowe, the thing that's so much different than it was 30 years ago is what you saw is the departments all were there. I mean, from engineering to the mayor to the street to sewer to police, everybody was there, helping. And my guys, citizens brought out pizzas to keep the guys fed. And it's a horrible thing to happen, but it was enlightening to see the teamwork that got it taken care of safely. So I just want to make sure everybody knew that we worked real well together.
Including the PD. The PD was out.
Everybody
several
was.
times.
That's all I have.
Yeah, great teamwork on everybody's part. Really, it was amazing to watch them all. What do you got, Chad?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Matt?
Just a reminder that this Wednesday, there'll be a special meeting of the park board in regards to the 5-year master plan. We'll be going through the results of that and kind of where we're at moving forward. So it'll be at Commons Hall on the lower level at 7 p.m. this Wednesday. So if you can make it, any constituents that that have an interest in parks, please encourage them to attend. So I'm pretty excited moving forward. We've got some new things, but a lot of things are ongoing that we've seen out of the previous plans. So we got some really good feedback, and I'm pretty excited to share that with everyone. So,
Chief?
Have nothing, sir.
Amanda?
No report.
Anything you'd like to add? No report. Very good. How about request approval of accounts, or allowance of accounts payable voucher, 67,185 through 67,447, totaling 809,138.37 cents. Oh, including interfund transfers of 105,232.56 cents.
I would so move.
I'll second it.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Mr. Coffey, I think you had a request for a stop sign at.
Yes. You ready for new business?
I'm ready for new business.
Richard Connect lives on Randolph Street. He contacted me, was complaining about speed down the street. Believes there's a good chance of an accident as Cross Street crosses over Randolph, and wants us to consider putting a four-way stop at that intersection. Told him I would bring it up. I think it's a good idea. I think that road is used as a bypass for a lot of the traffic that comes from William Street down to Light and over to the school areas. And onto Ohio too. There's a couple of bypasses, 200 north for the Ohio people and Randolph Street. Carlin Street's used that way some, and I used to live over in there, is used that way some, but the curve in Carlin Street makes people avoid that. And Broad Street has enough parking and narrow, it's a narrower street on it that's not really used. So Randolph makes it, and he's asking us to consider that. I would like us to consider that and take steps in that regard.
I do apologize. What was the corner of the two street intersection?
Crossing Randolph, it's
Crossing
the
Randolph.
third street north of Maumee and about 7 blocks east of Maumee. It's 2 blocks east of William Street.
I've had complaints there too. I've heard complaints there. People come up William Street and rather than going to Maumee where the stoplight is, they turn on Randolph, which is wide open and straight down to the hill to get out to 20 going west to go to the other school. I've had complaints about cars driving down there, excessive speed. Isn't that what he voiced to you?
And I
Same thing.
understand, we had some conversation with Amanda, and I understand she may have opposition to that, and I understand that opposition. The answer probably is enforcement, but you can't park a police officer there, especially when you use police officers during school time at the school.
Is that one that's happening the most before?
Yeah,
and
that's
after
it.
schools?
After school too, but he says some of it's all time of day. And I've been down there to see that happen.
So I think what we're asking is the traffic commission to, take a look at it and come back with a recommendation, negative or positive, for council's consideration. And I'll add one to that, South Superior Street, used to be one way. It was a 3-way stop, I think at Pleasant. When we made Superior 2-way, the decision was made to take out the 3-way stop and just make it a 2-way stop on Pleasant. So Superior is straight through. I've had requests from residents in that area to make it a 4-way stop at that intersection, which they always felt that it should have been when we made it 2-way rather than going from a 3-way to a 2-way. They thought we should have gone from a 3-way to a 4-way. But I'd like the traffic commission to take a look.
Mr. Mayor, it's South Superior and Pleasant.
Pleasant, I believe it is. Yeah, I'll have to double check the cross street, but I'm pretty sure it was Pleasant.
I know that crosswalk.
You've been there?
Yeah.
Okay. So if the traffic commission would look at both those, I'd certainly appreciate it.
Is that second one, the Pleasant and Superior, because of speed as well?
Yeah, I think that's our primary concern.
It has 4-way stops north and south of it already, I think.
I'm not sure there is. There might be a couple, it might be all the way up to Park. So you got to go all the way up to Park before there's another break. The Park's a pretty heavily traveled road too.
Down your territory almost.
Any other new business?
I'd like to thank Street Commissioner Ritter for his timely response to my emails recently. Thank you so much, Chad.
Anything else? We will adjourn. Next meeting is Monday, March 4th. Thank you all.